So I had actually made a video about shop lighting. We built this shop about 16 years ago. When we built it, we put 3 of these lamps. What these are, these take T8 bulbs. They are, takes 3 4-foot T8 bulbs. And they're in these nice enclosures, and like I said, they were expensive lights. We put 3 of those going down. There's one there, and there's still one right there. And what we found was it was not enough light. So the end down there, we threw a light that's just a 4-foot. They take the larger diameter, or those T12s. I don't remember. You know, you got the small diameter 4-foot and the large diameter 4-foot. These take the small diameter. That light down there takes the large diameter. We received for free, before we built the shop, there was a building that was being torn down. We went in and we pulled out some of these lights, and we don't have many diffusers. Most of them do not have diffusers. We did not get many diffusers with them, so we've got 2 there, and these are they're wired up 2 per switch. So these 2 are on the switch. So you've got 2 there, 2 there. So that's 4 lights. 2 there. That's 6, 8, 10, and then a single one right there, 11. We added that one because we needed light down at that end, because that one was not casting enough light down there. And then this end of the shop, still a little dark, but we do have these lights here. Might eventually add a light up here, wired in with the switch here. Now this one has a bad ballast, and this has been my issue that I've been fighting over the past couple years, is a constant ballast going bad, and I've almost got all of them replaced at this point. This light, the light that was right here, the ballast went bad in it, and because, like I said, these were not casting, these did not put out enough light, I put a 8-foot light here. This takes 2 of the 8-foot bulbs. They're the commercial style 8-foot bulbs. That light is great. I love that light. It shines great, casts good light. Never had an issue with it since I put it there. So my thinking was putting 8-foot lights in all these spots, and possibly eventually adding one right here, as these failed. And so this one has now failed. It's not the bulbs, it's the ballast has gone bad. So I had made a video asking for advice, because I kind of was wanting to maybe think about LED lights. I didn't know if 3 LED bulbs in this fixture would put out and cast enough light, because if you think about it, that 8-foot light has an extra 2 foot on each end, so it disperses the light better. I didn't know if 3 LED bulbs in that fixture would put out more light than one of those 8-foot lights. So I made a video asking for suggestions on it. The other issue I was gonna talk about was these lights are the ones I keep having to put ballast in. And it's not that I have to keep putting ballast in. Like I said, there's 11 of these lights in here, and I've probably replaced 6 ballast so far, and it's just these lights are really old. They probably came out of a building. These lights are probably from the 70s, and so the ballast have just, you know, it was their time. So like I said, I've replaced probably 6 of them. I've got 2 of them that have bad ballast right now. This one right here and this one right here will not turn on. So I need to replace those 2 ballast. That light right there has a weak ballast. it sometimes comes on, sometimes doesn't. And so last time I went and bought a bunch of ballast, I bought 2 extra. And so I've got ballast to put in those 2 lights. And so I think after I did that, I started looking into the LED lights and kind of wishing instead of replacing all these ballasts, I just would have bypassed the ballast in them and put LED bulbs in them. But, too late now. I've already bought those ballasts. I bought them probably close to about a year and a half ago. So, not really. I'm going to leave fluorescent lights there. And after I made that video, like I said, I made it. I did not post it because as soon as I made it, I went and looked online, just looking at different lights, just kind of looking around. And what I found, so I don't remember what I paid for that one. And what I was thinking was, eventually, yes, I would like to do LED lights. I think the pricing right now, I'm still cheaper doing fluorescent. I've got a bunch of 4-foot bulbs. And so my thinking was, like I said, that's an 8-foot bulb there. And what I kind of wish I would have done when I did that one, was instead of buying the one that takes the 2 8-foot, buying one that takes 4 4-foot bulbs. And then when, if I have a ballast that goes bad, I would just put 4 LED bulbs in it and bypass the ballast, because the 8-foot LED bulbs are expensive. And so I started on the look. I went and looked at Lowe's. First of all, I'm trying to do this on the cheap, and like I said, I've got plenty of bulbs, fluorescent bulbs, and so right now it really doesn't make sense to do the LED, but maybe do the lights to where LED in the future I don't have to replace the fixtures, is my thinking. So I started looking at Lowe's. They had an 8-foot light that took four LED bulbs for $40. I was like, okay, $40, I can put a light there. So I looked on Facebook Marketplace, and I found a guy who was probably it was like 55 miles from me. It was kind of like one of those searches that, it comes up outside of your search range or whatever. And he had 8-foot fixtures, 4 4-foot lights, and 4 T8s, the small diameter. And they were used, but good condition. He was an electrician, and he was doing, I guess, upgrades somewhere, and he pulled them out. They were all working lights, and he was selling them for $10 each. And so I messaged him, and he only had one. I think said he had 1 fixture left. And I was going to go ahead and buy either 3 or 4. I wanted enough where I could at least do those 2 and this one. I might not do those right away, but I kind of wanted, to have the ability to do that. And since he was so far away, I wanted to make my drive worth it. And so he said he only had 1. And I was like, okay, sorry, looking for more. I don't know if it's worth my time, worth it to drive all the way out there, because that's, 55 miles. That's 110 miles of driving for 1 light. So about a week later, he messaged me again and said, hey, give me a call, and give me his phone number. And so I called him, and he said, I've got two of those 8-foot lights. And he said, I've got 5 brand new 8-foot lights. He said, we were doing a job, and I guess we'll walk out that way. We were doing a job, and 1 out of about every 10 had a bad ballast. And so we just didn't want to mess with them anymore. And we put a different kind up. And so he said, I've got 5 of those brand new in the box. He said they might, they could have bad ballast, but he said you should get at least a couple good ones out of it. He said you might have like maybe 1 bad ballast out of all of them. My thinking is, if I get one and it's got a bad ballast, of course I've got more than I need here, but that one could be an LED one. I could just use the fixture. So this is what I've got. And he said, I'll sell you all these that I've got with all the bulbs I've got. He's like, I just want to get rid of this stuff. It's taking up room in my shop. You can have it all for 40 bucks. So I went and got it. So what I've got is these were working lights when they were pulled down. So I'll probably, since these store easier, you know, boxed up like this, I'll probably go ahead and throw one of these up in that spot over there. And he thought these were the better lights anyway. He said, you know, these were good working lights, never had an issue with these. These, you know, have weak ballast in them, you know, you might end up, you know, ballast that goes bad in them, or it may be bad out of the box, just, you know, whatever. So we're gonna put these, at least one of these up, and like I said, this was a good deal. 40 bucks for all this. I would have paid 40 bucks just for one fixture at Lowe's. You know, and then I've got enough bulbs to last a while. I've already got a box of bulbs too, so I think I should be good on these bulbs for a while. These are the small diameter T8s? I can't remember. I think the small diameters are T8s and the large ones are T12s, but I just can't remember. Yeah, T8. And I just don't remember on the large diameter. I think the large diameter are T12. But yeah, these are supposedly good. I have no reason not to trust him. He seemed like a nice guy, and we might wire one up temporarily just to plug it in, make sure it works before we throw it up there. But good lights. They've got one punch out on them. But what I had to do on this other one, show y'all real quick. This video is getting a little long. You can see how those are mounted. You've just got conduit that are used to hang it, and then your wire is coming through that one. What I'll do is, when I take that one down, I will lay it over the other housing and trace the holes, and just use a hole saw and drill 3 holes in the exact same spot so it lines up. That's what I did on that one, and that way I didn't have to redo any of the hanging of it. So should work out. It did on that one. And we will put an 8-foot light here, and then eventually we'll throw another one down there, and like I said, maybe eventually put one down on this end as well. So anyway, thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below, hit the like button, and subscribe for more. And probably the next video you see will be me hanging that light.